All right, welcome into the Dime. He is a host on Knicks Film School, a vet of Twitter Spaces, co-hosting live from the Mecca. Everybody, please welcome to the Dime for the first time. It's Shawn with a W. Shawn, what's up, man? Welcome. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm just so honored to be on this show. After now that you've become big time,
I am not big time.
and listen, man, and just remember, listen, when you blow up, and just
Right.
remember the little people like me down here.
Damn.
Nah, man.
You've been big time in him?
I would argue, Shawn, that you are a more successful host than I am. I do a lot of background stuff for a lot of people, but as far as camera time and as far as like influence, you, sir, you have it over me.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. Give it time.
All right. Well, I brought Shawn on the show because he's a huge Knicks fan. He's an objective Knicks fan. He's someone on Twitter who I followed for a few years now. Love him in Twitter Spaces. Like I said, live from the Mecca, him and Said do a fantastic job. And wanted to dive deep into the Knicks. It was going to be a different tone. I messaged Shawn a couple days ago when things were just really bad for Julius. He's kind of turned it around. Well, I wouldn't say he's turned it around. It's been one game. But what's your vibe going for the rest of the season from the Clipper game? Do you think this is the norm, this Knicks team that we saw against the Clippers, or was this going to be an outlier?
So I actually think this is closer to the norm. I mean, Julius had his 20, I believe he had 27, and 10.
Yep.
Mitch dominating on the boards, the bench doing their thing. I think the only outlier is that our point guard can hit the broadside of a barn.
Weird,
2 of 12 on Monday night. But I think this is Knicks basketball. This team, when they play well and they're firing on all cylinders, they can beat anyone on any given night. And I'm not surprised that we won the game. But to your point, like, listen, 72 hours before, half the fan base sent Julius to Minnesota. And it was like, Tibbs it, then Tibbs this, and da-da-da. And, oh, look, Jalen Duren's doing this, and, oh, Obi that. And here we are. Winning is the deodorant that covers up everything. So, yeah, I think what you saw yesterday is more of the norm than the outlier.
Why do you think Julius has had such a slow start to the season? Has it just been like shot selection, just adjusting? Like, why do you think he's been struggling so much so early on?
Honestly, he's just not hitting shots. Like, it's a make or miss league. He ain't hitting shots. Now, why is he not hitting shots? So, you know what's funny? If, like, these NBA players go through cold streaks from time to time, there's a 5 to 3, 4, 5, 6 game stretch where they're not playing well. But it always gets magnified at the beginning of the season because beginning of the season, everyone has hope, everyone has expectations. It's a clean slate. So, I don't know why he wasn't hitting shots. I don't even think it was his shot selection. I mean, he was taking threes, just wasn't hitting them. Like, he was shooting like 27% at the rim. Like,
disgusting.
Like what? Like what do you like? I don't think. Yeah, like some people are like, yo, what can Tibbs do? Like, Tibbs can't like make the shots for him, like at the rim, like just at the rim. Like, I feel like I could shoot 27% from the rim in a game.
I think you could.
Right?
I think you could.
Oh,
I've never seen you play, but I'd bank on it. 27% is not bad.
At the rim.
At the rim. Yeah.
At the rim.
It's crazy.
I mean, Chip's got him in the pick. He was more handling the pick and roll last game. Going downhill, he was a little more aggressive. Julius, to me, in the first couple games, seemed to kind of like try to pick his spots, and then when he realized, oh crap, like I haven't shot much or I haven't done much, then he kind of forced it. It was a weird dichotomy that he had going because I thought he played a decent floor game for most of the games to start the season. I want to go back to what you said about the fan base sending him to Minnesota, though. Where are you on that, man? I know like 75% of Knicks Twitter wants to trade this man either for Cat or just get him out of here. What do you think the future is for Julius? And is he somebody who, if you were Leon Rose, that are you looking to shop him? Do you think that there's a ceiling with this man leading your team and he has to go?
There is a ceiling with Julius Randle as your 1 or number 2 option. I do not think you can win a championship with Julius Randle as your best player, and unless 2021 Julius, who's hitting all the long twos in the world, comes back, and clearly that you want to talk about outliers. Listen, after, I mean, I said on Twitter, the Julius Randle experience is a roller coaster, and not everyone handles it the same way. After the 2020 season, I wanted him gone. After 2021, I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe he's figured something out. After 2022, I wanted him gone. After like the day of the Donovan Mitchell trade, which was the day I joined Knicks Film School. Like the day I joined it, like I had a meeting with Andrew Claudia, and 3 hours later he got traded. And I was like, you got, and I remember saying that day, like, get him off this team. And then, so I'm not as much on that train as much, but at the same time, like, I know, like, this, like, I don't know how this team wins a championship with Julius Randle in a prominent role because of what the limitations he has. Now, I don't want to ship him away for him sandwich, and I hope that there is a way. Because listen, look, if and when the Knicks win a championship in my lifetime, and if it's in the next few years,
it's a big if. It's a huge if.
It's an if, but listen, I remember the Warriors used to be the Knicks. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
The Warriors were the Knicks. Like, so I've actually warmed on Julius more in the terms of like the stuff that he's gone through and, you know, being like hated and loved and he's been really open about like how being in the right mind space mentally. So I'm not shipping him off, but I just don't think that the next Knicks championship team, I don't think it has Julius Randle on it. So from that standpoint, I would say yes. A trade should be made.
Okay. Hypothetically, right? I know I saw online some of the trades traded him to Minnesota for, I guess, for Cat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because you guys are both Knicks fans, do you think Cat would be able to survive playing in New York? Because I see the way he you guys want to talk about struggling. Like I said, at least when I watch Julius, like, yes, he has his struggles, but like you said, he always bounces back. And I don't know why it's the odd number years for him that he does that. But
this odd year, even year, I cannot believe this has actually become a thing. But
yeah, it's crazy. But like somebody like I don't know who you trade for who's going to be able to survive in this like the environment, because fans are very cutthroat, very direct. Like they let you know when you mess up. So do you guys think somebody like Cat would be able to survive as a Knicks player? See, I know the idea of it.
I personally do not. Okay. No, I don't. He's from the area, though. He's from Jersey.
He's from Jersey.
He's from Jersey.
So he knows.
Yeah, but
he knows he's from the area. He's from the New York metropolitan area. He knows the vibes. Okay. Oh boy! Like, listen, this one thing. Okay,
it's a no.
I know, but you know what? Someone asked me the other day, like, you know, would you swap Cat for Randle? And like, who's better? And I said, you know what? In a vacuum, like, if you could literally just take out Julius and put Cat there, it's like, well, they're both not good defensively. Cat's a better offensive player. Yes, I would make that swap. But Cat has been in the league 9 years. This is like his 9th season, and he's won 2 playoff games. Not 2 playoff series, 2. I think he's won 2 playoff games.
2 playoff
I think
games,
he's won 2. Because he won 1 last year, and
are we counting the playing championship?
We're not
counting the playing.
Oh, that's not true. They won. I think they lost to Memphis in 6 2 years.
So when Butler was there.
Yeah. No.
They lost to Houston that year, and they lost to Memphis.
They lost to Houston. I think they got swept by Houston.
Yeah.
They lost to Memphis when Ja was doing a gritty on the logo, and then they won 1 last year. So 3 games. Could he handle it? Honestly, you know what? I think he could, because he. Like, you remember that interview he gave in the summer, and he was like, the play-in was more of an accomplishment than Denver winning the championship and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like, you have to be so, what's the word?
Delusional?
Unaware of yourself,
Okay.
of what's going on. Like, that's a level of self-awareness, a
Yeah.
lack of self-awareness that, like, maybe he could just be like, oh, like, he could just block out the noise. So maybe he
Maybe.
could. Maybe.
Oh,
All right, let's shift our attention to RJ Barrett, who's been the best Nick of the season so far. I know it's early, but a lot of growth. He's getting most of his points in spot up, situations. Not a lot off the dribble, not a lot on the ball, but he's knocking down shots, and he seemed to have a little bit of a step back going too, which is something that I've been just clamoring for him to have. What to you though is the main difference between RJ this year and RJ of previous years?
RJ's making the right basketball play.
Mm.
I've said RJ has a very elite skill that he can get to the bucket anytime he wants. And he's not the fastest. He's not Hezzy Tween Gang. He don't got no bag. He got no crazy bag, but he can get to the rim at will. The problem is sometimes he decides I'm going to the rim and I'm putting the shot no matter what. And then there's three people there, and then Bam boards his shit, and then it's like, go the other way. So he's making the right basketball play. And I think spending a summer hanging out with SGA and during FIBA he's been drawing more fouls. So take those two attempts at the rim where he gets his shit punched. If you turn those two missed field goals into 4 free throw attempts, and even if you hit 3, the efficiency changes. Right. So, like, something happened. Like after game 2 last year, the light bulb went off. I don't know what happened. Some people say it's mechanics. There was a change. I know that
there is a change.
Drew Hanlon came after game 2, whatever. But he's making the right basketball play, and that's all of us RJ supporters who've been frustrated from over the years. Just like, it's there. Just do that. Just make the right basketball play. Like, let the game come to you. Don't force it, right? Like the head coach always says, the game will tell you what to do. Yeah. And now he's following what the game is telling him to do.
Do you think that that level of play with him is going to be sustainable for the rest of the season?
In terms of making the right basketball play, yes. In terms of 3-point shooting, it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that. I think he's over 40% for 3 at this point. Yeah. And it's been 7 games. So, I mean, if he's shooting 40%, that's amazing. If he's done it before, but I mean, he did it in a year of empty gyms, whatever that's worth. I think it's sustainable. I think, listen, not all progression is linear. Not every kid out of school pops right away. Some people need more time than others. Some people got to take their lumps. And so I think in terms of making the right basketball play, that's sustainable. Will he, like Josh, you just said about like him hitting the pull-ups. Like I said it on Twitter. If he's hitting off the dribble jumpers, he is a top 25 player in this league. Full stop. No argument. I want no back talk from anybody. Because if he's hitting that, and he can get to the rim at will, then the whole thing changes. The whole complexion of everything changes.
Wow, top 25. that's a bold statement. But
if he can consistently hit off the dribble jumpers, top 25.
All right, I want to focus my attention on someone who I think deserves a lot of love as well, and that's Mitchell Robinson. What has gotten into him? I know that he had a great playoff series against the Cavs, but he just seems, I didn't expect this type of jump defensively from him, even though he's been good defensively. What do you think is the main difference? Or is it just kind of just like, he's just getting older, he's more experienced, and that's what happens. Players just get better.
So it's funny, you said earlier that you said that RJ's been the best Knick this year. I think it's Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I think you say that too. That's fair.
I think for Mitch, it's just been this gradual climb. Like, I remember when he was a rookie or a second-year player, and when he was trying to block everything and 3 fouls halfway through the second quarter on the bench. And but like you always saw the talent and the ability was there. The Knicks get a lot of stick about not developing players. I mean, listen, he was a 36th pick in the draft, and now people are mentioning Defensive Player of the Year. He's just it's just a level of focus, I guess. Like he just learned the game, and just like I remember there was a game. I don't remember if it was preseason or if it was early in the in the COVID season. It's funny we say the COVID season. There was like 3 COVID seasons. There was the bubble season, the COVID season.
Right.
Then there was the empty gym season, the COVID season,
Right.
and then there was the season after that when like everyone got COVID and we had to play Damian Dotson.
Yeah.
But there was a game as either preseason or early, and Mitch got his second foul in the first quarter, and Tibbs just left him out there and said, "No, you're gonna stay. Like you're staying out there because you're gonna figure this out." He's just like it's just a level of focus, and like I think he just realized, like I think because 2 years ago he bulked up too much, so you got to get bigger, but he got too big, and now I think he's now like at a good size. And he just realized, like, listen, no one's better at me than this. And
Right.
he's, I think, at some point, he's like, this is what I'm good at. I'm just going to lead into it. And listen, the Knicks, I've said this, the Knicks play the Spurs on Wednesday night. I feel like he's going to stick Victor Wembanyama in the basket in terms of like, like you're 7'4", 203 soaking wet. No.
Yeah.
All these rebounds are mine. Although I think Pop is playing him at the 4, so they may have some random thing. Like, we'll see. But yeah, but I think that'll be his coming out party. Mitch is national, like not people nationally will start just like, oh, this guy's really good.
Yeah, like he's not gonna be ranked like 23rd center in the league. some list I see with Mitchell Robinson are like absurd. Like not a top 20 center in the league. Like RJ gets disrespected on lists, but Mitch really gets disrespected on lists. And I think, like you said, he's probably going to put the country on notice, hopefully, on Wednesday.
True. I was going to ask, do you think that his slow usage on offense might discourage him? Because we all saw that tweet by his trainer that kind of went a little bit viral about not him being like at least throw him a lob. So you think that's something that might end up creeping in? Because it's a long season. It's still early in the season, so.
So I think, and this is where the RJ Barrett of all comes into play because he's our best lob thrower. Jalen is not the best lob thrower, but then again, he's 6 feet tall, maybe 6'1" on a good day, so it's hard for him. And then Julius, even though he threw him one Monday night, but Julius was never not a lob thrower, right? So I think not having RJ now Quickly will throw him lobs, but obviously Quickly's not in the game all the time.
So will Quentin
not
Grimes
always
if he gets the basketball, but he doesn't get the basketball.
Yeah, exactly. But I think having RJ, I think if RJ's in the lineup consistently, he plays his 75 games, RJ will take care of Mitch. But I also do think that this is where I give Thibodeau some grace is that like during the Clipper game on Monday, like you said, Josh, more pick and roll for Randle, get him going. So someone must have said like, hey, throw this guy, like we need to get him involved, throw him some lobs, whatever. So I think he realizes that, he doesn't have he can't do anything outside of 6 feet or 4 feet from the basket, right? Yeah. But as long as RJ plays, he'll get his lob opportunities. And that actually creates spacing. That creates, that vertical spacing we always hear about.
Yep, I agree. All right, serious question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss Obi Toppin?
2.
Yeah, the same. Thank you. 2. Let him just thrive in Indiana. He's playing well. He's not this 20-10 guy that Knicks Twitter thought he was, but he's a solid player. Let him live. Let's forget about him. We got a good team. Let's move forward. Forget about him. I'm glad you said 2.
He's a solid player. I say that, listen, if you draft someone 8th and you don't sign a rookie extension, that is a failure, period, across the board. It was never going to work here because Julius Randle turned into Larry Bird in 2021.
Only on the odd years.
Yeah. He turned to Larry Bird in the We Here season, and he was never better than he was never better than Obi. And listen, I say 3 because listen, he was my son's favorite player. I funny thing is, I bought him an Obi statement jersey for Christmas, and as I was looking at it, I said,
Why am I doing this?
"This might not be in 6 months. This might, but you know what? Whatever.
You
Let's
knew it.
go."
It's okay.
Yeah.
I knew it,
bought
but I was like, whatever.
I bought myself a Raymond Felton and Danilo Gallinari jersey. There's 2 weeks before they got
Legends.
traded to Denver.
Next legends. Those were legends.
So, I mean, that it always gave me worse.
I remember the
Yeah.
Felton jersey.
But he's in Indiana now. He's doing what we all thought he was going to do. He's going to run and jump and get easy buckets in that offense.
Yeah.
Good for him. But listen, the Knicks are 3-4. What game would we have won if he was on the team?
None of them. Neither one of them. None of the 4 losses.
So I wish him the best. I wish him well. But hope is man, NBA fan, the sports fandom is like the Family Guy episode of the Mystery Box. When he's like, you can have the boat or you got the mystery box. And it's like, and Lois is like, take the boat. And what does Peter say? He's like, yeah, that's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could be a car, a house, it could even be a boat. So it's like, as long as you can always just say, like there's certain fans that always will just say, like, okay, well, if we started Obi, he'd be doing this. But it's like, but when Obi plays, he doesn't do it. But if it is always like a but
yeah,
he listen, the amount of times that we give offensive rebounds because he was leaking out to get it on transition on a fast break, it was just like that's maddening. And you can't be a power forward and not shoot threes. And he wasn't a great 3-point shooter. Should he been a corner boy? No. But there were deficiencies to his game that the Obi Hive would overlook.
Yeah, I wish him well. Just to finish up right now, we have the Spurs, Hornets, and Celtics coming up. 3-4 record. What are you expecting this week? What do you want to see? Anything in general? What's on your mind with the Knicks going forward?
So, like I said, the Spurs, I expect us to win the game, beat them bloody, and Mitchel dominate Wemby. That Hornets game is interesting because it's a noon start on a Sunday. And noon starts.
Yeah, oh God.
That's a trap.
Worst.
That's a trap.
I wonder
those noon starts.
Yep.
But you know what's funny? I feel like the noon start should actually affect the road team more because that means they've been in New York since Saturday night. It should. I remember who said it. It's an old Nick. Was it Starks? I forget who it was. And he was talking about how in the 90s they would they'll hang out with the opposing players to keep them out late, or make sure that they had people to keep them out late because now you listen for a noon game you get into MSG 9 a.m. and New York is New York. So that's interesting. That's interesting. And in the Celtics, listen, we were up 6 with 3 minutes left, and we could not throw it in the ocean. So I think that we used to be a bad matchup for them. This Porzingis shit has made them a bit of a bad matchup for us. But then again, if we hit shots, we should be all right. So I think we can go 2-1 in the next 3.
I think so too. I mean, we are 3-4 right now. Julius has shot historically terrible. Jalen is on and off. Quentin Grimes is not hitting his 3. RJ's been hurt. I think there's a ceiling here that the Knicks aren't even close to reaching. So I don't know when they'll reach that ceiling, but I do think if they do reach that ceiling, they could beat anybody in the league for sure. Quab. I see your hand up.
Quick question, because you mentioned Quentin Grimes. Is he getting enough shots in this offense?
He's never gonna get enough shots in this offense.
To me that's kind of crazy
because Jalen and Julius, and they just stick him in the corner. And
Jalen, Julius, and RJ.
Yeah.
I I understand he's there for spacing at this point, but he's still a good enough shooter where maybe he should get more than a look or two during the course of a game.
What he has to figure out is, because right now it's like, okay, if I get it, I'm going up, or if I get it, I'm not. If it's not going up, then I just got to dribble into the paint as fast as I possibly can before things collapse. And the game is still a little too fast for him. But I think if they're as he will learn to take advantage of the opportunities he has with the ball in his hands. Granted, he's at best fourth on the totem pole, but there will be opportunities there where he'll find it, and then a little bit of the playmaking and stuff like that. And then when that happens, you'll probably see a shift. But right now, you're right, he's spacing, which is fine. He's spacing and guard the other team's best player 9 times out of 10.
That's his role. It is what it is.
Yep.
All right, Shawn with a W. Thank you very much. Plug anything you want. Knicks Film School, live from Mecca. What you got going on?
All right, so I'm on every Friday on the Knicks Film School podcast. Myself, Mensa, and XJ, we do Casual Friday. We break down the week that was with the Knicks. Every weekend, we do KFS Study Hall and Twitter Spaces. Myself, Chris Persiani, and Mensa. It's a rotating, so sometimes, like this week, I was off. We don't have a set schedule yet until probably November, December, especially when football ends. So I'll be on Saturday or Sundays. But if you follow Knicks Film School on Twitter at Knick Film School SKOOL, we'll always put out 24 to $40 before. And then, like you said, live from the Mecca, myself, Cedric Shine, and Jeff Johnson. That was the precursor to all of this. I like to remind people all the time, before all these Knicks spaces on Twitter Spaces, in the summer of 2021, it was live from the Mecca, and in November 2020, it was everybody loves it. It was live from the Mecca. We were on Clubhouse, so remember your history.
That's how I met you. Clubhouse, yeah, it was
yes,
Clubhouse.
That's from the Clubhouse days. So we've been doing this for a long time. That will be back now that Cedric has stopped big timing us for MLS. Now that Messi season's over,
Messi's back in Argentina.
Yeah, Messi's back in Argentina. Said he got time for us again. Shout out to Sed. I love Sed. That's my man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. He just ran the marathon on Sunday. So big up to him, and big up to Jeff as well.
All right, Shawn, thanks for joining us, man.